Hey everyone, how's it going? Hyo here, and today I'm bringing you another World of Warcraft guide. So this guide's going to be on my top 5 ways that I plan on making gold going into the next expansion. Now these are ways that have worked incredibly well for me in the past and previous expansions, and so now I'm passing this information on to you guys, and hopefully you can make a ton of gold if you want to get gold capped, buy some new gear, or even materials in just bags. Okay guys, so this is number 5. This isn't necessarily a way that I plan on making gold in Legion, but rather how I make gold now so that my characters will be funded enough to do the other methods that I plan on showing you guys later. Now this is something that a lot of people do already, and it is farming the old Cataclysm dungeons. This is really easy to do, and if you have a decent gear level, you can do them with almost any character. I have a guide series on my channel on how to do these, so if you have any questions about that, head on over and check those out. We essentially do the older Cataclysm dungeons on 25-man heroic, and they'll net you about 6,000 to 8,000 gold per week per character. And so imagine if you had 10 characters, that's already 60,000 to 80,000 gold, which is more than enough for any of the methods that I'm going to go on later to tell you guys about. And so now on to number 4. Now number 4 is actually the first way that I plan on making gold going into the next expansion, and this is something that tends to work every expansion, which is buying up or acquiring bags, and not any bag, but the hex weave bag in particular, the best bag that you can buy right now or make. And why are you doing that is because every time there's a new expansion, there's going to be new players, which means new characters, and what do they need? Every new character needs bags. And what's even better is this next expansion comes with a new class, a hero class, and although they do spawn with what I believe is Ember Soak bags, which I think are 22 slot bags, Hexweave are 30 slot, making them far superior, and so of course they're going to want to buy the best bags. And the newer bags, the newest bags you can make are going to be crazy overpriced, just like they always are. Hexweave bags were 5,000 gold when they first came out, and not many people had them because of that reason. People were rocking Ember Soak bags for a long time unless you had a ton of gold. And so you can almost guarantee to make gold off of this. What you're going to do is you're going to acquire bags for around 500 to 600 gold on my server. They usually sell for 700, but you're going to want to buy them for as little as possible. In bulk, people will sell them to you for cheaper, and you can make them. I think a ton of my characters are tailors, so I make them all the time. And you're going to want to hold on to them. Of course, the more you spend on this method, the riskier it can be. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. Maybe just buy 10 or 20, whatever you feel comfortable with, and then just hold on to them in hopes that you'll make 300 gold per bag or something like that. Alright, on to number 3, and this one is going to be for nearly any level. All the other ones are for max or higher level characters, while this one is for almost any level, like I said, and it's because it is profession farming. And not higher level professions, but lower level professions in particular. You can see me here at one of the more popular or one of the better linen cloth farming spots, and that's what I'm talking about. Linen cloth, mage weave cloth, all of the leveling items, crafting materials that you need. It's going to be really good because at the beginning of every expansion, a lot of people, for the same reason that the bags are really good, are making new characters. Although they might not use it while they're leveling, they're going to want to eventually level up professions, and you can level up professions now by just using endgame stuff, but it is very costly, and in Legion there's not going to be as many profession resources, so you're going to probably want to do it, or most people are going to probably want to do it the original way, which is just using old materials. And so you're just going to farm older materials like copper ore, cloths, peace blooms, herbalism, stuff like that. And professions are going to be very, very important in the next expansion, supposedly. So this is going to be almost a surefire way to make a ton of gold. And it's going to be 100% profit, unless of course you're buying some of the profession mats right now in hopes to sell them for a higher price later. And so that is number 3. Alright guys, so I actually had a really hard time choosing between number 1 and number 2 because, you know, they both make you a lot of gold. In the end, I ended up going with number 2 being Transmog Farming. Now, Transmog Farming, as you guys might already know, is very profitable already. With the new Demon Hunter coming out, and everyone's going to be making one, we all know it. You're going to make one, even if you don't like them, you're going to make one. And they wear leather. So what you're going to want to do is just go out and find some leather gear. What I like to do is use Mogget, or you can even use Wowhead, but Mogget will show you exactly what the gear looks like. You can also use the really handy filters they have on there, which will show you exactly what type of gear you're looking for, especially the most important part, it being bind on equip. You don't want to go out and farm some T3 thinking that it's bind on equip when it's actually bind on pickup, and you hate yourself. So this is what I like to do. This, although it can be very, very profitable, some of the Defia stuff is still already selling for 50,000 gold in the auction house even now. I'd expect the prices to go up as well as the items to sell faster. On a similar note though, this is why I put it number 2, is because the gear can take forever to sell, like actually an eternity. And not really, but it can take weeks, even months, in order to sell some of your gear for such a high price. You can probably undercut the market by quite a bit and sell it faster, but if you do want top dollar, it's going to take you a while. I mean, that's just the nature of selling transmogs. It's going to take you a lot longer than normal to make profit, or not to make profit, but to make anything really. And it's just going to take you a long time. That's it. That's the main reason I put it number 2. But again, as you can see here, I'm showing you some examples of the stuff on here, like this cool belt that I looked at. It's a craftable belt. It's a few expansions old and it still sells for 3,000 gold. So that's a really good example of ways that you can still make a lot of gold off of simply looking cool. So the number 1 way that I plan on making gold going into Legion is going to be by maxing my professions on my main character. And I say I'm a main character because it's going to take a lot of time in order to see this method make you a ton of gold, but I can assure you it will make you a ton of gold if you just, keep at it. And it's because professions are going to be very important in the next expansion. And even in this expansion in WoD, you saw items being sold for 20, 30, 40, even over 100,000 gold for some of the items. And even now, a fully upgraded weapon still sells for 50,000 gold. So you can see that crafted items are still some of the best in the game. And Blizzard had said that they're even making the professions more essential to the gear grind. And so all the top level raiders, levelers, as well as even PvPers now are going to look towards you, the crafter, to make the best items in the game. If you are making those items for them, you can expect to get top dollar at the beginning of the expansion, and as the expansion goes on, you're going to make less and less gold, but it's still going to be a considerable amount, which is why I said your main character, because it's going to require a lot of leveling, a lot of grinding for gear, or just buying a ton of mats in order to level up your professions. And it's going to take a lot of time because you're going to have to do quests in order to further your professions. As far as I know, it's a lot of questing and a lot of grinding, but again, in the end, you can make a ton of gold. And so that is going to be my number 1 way that I plan on making, hundreds of thousands of gold across all my characters. A lot of my characters are tailoring and enchanting, just because tailoring is really good for farming, and that's what I like to do. So guys, those were my top 5 ways that I plan on making gold going into the Legion expansion. If they helped you guys out, make sure to leave a like. If they didn't, make sure to leave a dislike and tell me why in the comments, why you didn't like it. I always like to improve the videos each time for you guys. I try to put out videos every week, so that if you guys want more content like this, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.